Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And today's video, I'm just going to be going over my weekly rotation for this first week of April here, kind of the tail end of March and ending off on April 2nd, I believe. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into my scent of the day for Monday, and that was Creed's Silver Mountain Water. So I actually forgot to put a fragrance on when I went into work and snuck away, and so I deliver for a restaurant, so I swung by the house en route to one of the deliveries at some point in the middle of the shift to go grab a fragrance. It's kind of in a rush, so I just grabbed this one, haphazardly. I wish I would have gone with more of a fougère because it was a really nice kind of 50, high 40, 50 degree kind of weather, and with really beautiful sunny skies and like fluffy white clouds. Would have been great for one of those like barbershop fougère kind of fragrances, but just kind of grabbed this one in a dumb reach kind of attempt, and it wasn't the worst fragrance to reach for. It played very well with the kind of spring breeze that was going on. A little bit of like a lemony, or not a lemony, melony sort of fruitiness, almost like a cantaloupe vibe coming off of how the green tea interacts with the black currant in here. And some nice woods in the base. Really nice, a little bit short on the longevity and projection, but I still, I've got Armaf Sillage, and I think both are great fragrances. I don't think it's quite redundant to have them both in your collection. They do smell a little bit different. The Sillage does not have the melony quality that this has, but it does have better projection and longevity, at least off of my skin. This one does smell a little bit more natural and is a little bit more enjoyable of a wearing experience for me as the wearer, however. But yeah, even though I wish I would have grabbed a fougère for Monday, I ended up going with Creed's Silver Mountain Water, and still enjoyed it a lot. And then moving on, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday all kind of had the same weather pattern. It was like a white out kind of hazy sky, just kind of all white. There weren't really distinct clouds or anything. It was just kind of like a haze almost. Later on during the day, on all three of those days, the haze broke and the sun started popping out a bit. But because the weather was just kind of very blah, I tended to reach for more like blue or versatile fragrances. So for Tuesday, I went with Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum. Really kind of nice, woody, musky, sweet, spicy is what you get with this one. Sweetness from cardamom and amber, musk being the main player in this one. It just makes it very clean and how do I want to describe this? Yeah, the musk in here is just it's almost like wet smelling in some sense. The woods and the spices kind of even it out with a little bit of a dryness, but yeah, just a very, very clean and I don't know, there's a certain unique texture to this line of fragrances that I'm having a hard time putting into words, but really amazing stuff. Super glad I got this one. Recent addition to the collection. I've had the Eau de Toilette for some time. This one is a little bit more, a little bit less sharp, a little bit more round. So really nice, enjoyable wear for this one on Tuesday. And being a versatile, like semi-blue style fragrance, it was something that was able to kind of play out through that hazy environment and, match out alongside of the varying weather conditions that came about from the beginning of the day to the end of the day when the sun broke out. So that was Tuesday's Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum. Wednesday was the only fragrance I ended up getting a compliment on from a girl, and that is Missoni Parfum Pour Homme. This is kind of like a Bleu de Chanel clone, but there is some differences. This one has oak as a wood note in here that Bleu de Chanel doesn't have, and then this also has more of like a soapy dry down that Bleu de Chanel doesn't have. So I think it's not redundant to have both in your fragrance wardrobe, and I've actually gotten more compliments on this than I ever have with Bleu de Chanel. Even though this one's slightly more synthetic, It's still very nice, fresh citrus woods. And it's got a nice little magnetic cap. Bleu de Chanel does as well, but it's still, I love the presentation on this one. It has a little bit more of a springtime vibe for me than Bleu de Chanel with that soapy dry down. And then the bottle has this really cool gradient of green and brown, if you can kind of see that there. Really lovely stuff, and a cheapie. You can find 100 mLs of this for like under 40 bucks on Joma Shop right now, I believe. Definitely worth checking out. And like I said, the only one I got a compliment from a woman on during the week here. So that's Missoni Parfum Pour Homme for Wednesday. Thursday, so I was hoping to kind of catch the missed opportunity that I had on Monday to wear a fougère and to kind of, hopefully get some of that nice sunny, puffy clouds kind of environment. Again, it started off kind of hazy, like I said, that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday all did. But all those days, by the midday, the sun was peeking out and breaking through the clouds, and you kind of got that sort of environment. So I went with this one, Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. I did get the opportunity that I was looking for. The hazy atmosphere kind of broke and the puffy white clouds showed up, and it was a nice kind of 50-degree day. However, I did feel a little bit odd wearing it to work, just because, I'm delivering food for a restaurant. It's kind of very dressed down or casual in some sense. And this fragrance, I just felt out of place because it is a little bit more classy, old school, debonair is a good descriptor for this one, I would say. And so I just didn't really, I just felt off wearing it. Even though it was really enjoyable for me, I didn't feel it. I was harmonizing with everything else that I had going on throughout the day there. Nonetheless, incredible stuff. One of the best lavenders I've got in my collection, and it did scratch that itch of like wanting to catch a nice spring day with puffy white clouds and a sunny environment for a barbershop fougère. So that was Thursday, Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. Friday was the other fragrance in my weekly rotation that I got a compliment on, but this was from my boss, so it was a compliment from a guy. But that was Dior Homme 2020. First thing walking through the door on Friday morning, boss says, "Ooh, cologne smells good today." So yeah, again, kind of, been having that hazy weather going on throughout the majority of the week, so just kind of was reaching for more versatile kind of fragrances, the Bleu Noir, the Missoni Parfum, Dior Homme 2020. Really nice kind of medley of Terre d'Hermès and Eau Sauvage Parfum from Dior is kind of like what I get in here. Like the sort of like powdery woods with the slight citrus that Terre d'Hermès offers, and then the LME resin kind of qualities that you get from Eau Sauvage Parfum. This one is not as citric heavy as either of those two fragrances, but just really, really lovely stuff. Falling more and more in love with this one as the days go by. Even though there's no iris in here, I don't hold it against Dior for kind of going in a different direction. I think they should have released this with a different name than Dior Homme. And so that way there wasn't as much confusion. I know a few people have bought this off of discounters hoping to get the iris version and ended up with this. So it's definitely mucked up the waters a bit, you could say, but nonetheless, I do feel like this is one that's really worth getting your hands on. Beautiful, woody, classy, versatile, easy to wear men's fragrance. That's Dior Homme 2020 for my Friday scent of the day. Okay, Saturday. So Saturday it was like a windy day. Still kind of had that hazy quality, but there was some dark, dense clouds in the sky. They weren't quite ready to burst forth their rain, but it was a little bit brisk, probably around like high 30s, so a little bit colder than it's been throughout the rest of the week. We were kind of still getting into that, transitional period out of winter. High winds. Wanted to go for something a little bit more dense, and I grabbed this one here, Amouage Reflection Man. So jasmine, ylang ylang, orris root that gives it this really kind of almost buttery yet still powdery iris kind of vibe. Really kind of chalky neroli. Neroli being like one of the main players that gives it that kind of very clean quality. Not quite as soapy as Prada L'Homme, but they both have that iris and neroli combo. Sandalwood also that gives an added depth of creaminess to this one. I guess this is kind of like a divisive fragrance or a polarizing one. I think it's incredible. Smells very upclass, elegant, semi-sweet, but also very clean. Reminds me of just like a freshly cleaned, you know, high-end hotel or something like that, or like a very wealthy person's home after like their cleaning lady just got done coming through. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, and definitely something that I'm looking forward to wearing a lot throughout this month of April here, catching those nice windy days. So yeah, that was a perfect wear for me on Saturday. Amouage Reflection, man. And finally, rounding out the week, I did manage to catch another opportunity to go ahead and wear something, you know, kind of classic barbershop-y. This fragrance isn't that quite barbershop-y, but it's old school oak moss. And it was on one of those puffy kind of sunny days, puffy white cloud sunny days that I had on Monday, and that is Mousse Illuminée by Rogue Perfumery. So this is kind of like, it does have a creamy shaving foam vibe down at the base. There's no lavender in here, or I don't think there's any geranium either, so it's not technically a fougère. But the oak moss in here is just very bright. There's a slight lemon lime kind of touch that goes on that sparkles over the top, even though I don't think there's any citruses listed in here either. I think olibanum is in here. I'm not sure what other notes exactly, but yeah, it just does smell like a very sparkly kind of bright mossy forest. Definitely has a little bit of that old school appeal, but it's more retro than old school, I would say. Like, it just hints towards that era of like the 70s and 80s, but there's that creamy semi-sweetness going on with the base that just is, you know, it has that modern appeal as well. Incredible stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to checking out more from this house. I've heard a lot of great things about some of their other offerings like Bon Mansour and Chypre Siam. So this is the only one I've tried from them so far, but thoroughly enjoyed wearing this one, and it perfectly matched the atmosphere that I had going on in terms of weather Sunday. So that was my weekly rotation for this tail end of March, moving into the beginning of April here. Probably won't have much time to edit this video like I do my normal weekly rotations. I'm running a little bit late for work today, so I'm just going to get this uploaded real quick. In the meantime, you know, I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this video, and let me know what your weekly rotation was in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.